We're Josh and Phoebe, and in 3 years we've sailed more than 6,000 miles along Australia's east coast. We've had countless once-in-a-lifetime experiences, but we didn't have the space on our Adams 35 to share that magic with others. So after 5 years living aboard, we realised we'd outgrown the pod. Then we found her, an abandoned Kelso 57 Catamaran, 3 owners, and she's never left the boatyard. $80,000 at auction, a mountain of work, and a dream we couldn't walk away from. We've gone into debt to buy her, and we can only afford 2 months in this boatyard. Every part, every repair, every 16-hour day, it's all on us. We took a risk buying our first boat with no sailing experience, and that paid off. But now, we've taken the biggest risk of all. Can we pull it off? Start small, dream big, sail far.
Today's the day, make or break. We're finding out if our motors are going to run. If this doesn't work, we're probably going to be selling the boat, so keep an eye on that. If it does work, we're going to be on the time schedule for our splash at about 30 days from now, pretty much. We find out if these $30,000 or $60,000 worth of assets that we've got here are going to be good anchors or they're going to be good motors. We're going to find out by the end of this day. For those that don't know, we've got 2 Volvo D275 inboard motors in here. We've got 2 150S sail drives. The only thing we haven't got are props, wiring harnesses, batteries. We haven't got a few things, but we've figured all that out. We've run in our Morse cables, we've run in our wiring harnesses, but what we're going to do today is the real work. Getting these motors actually running, actually turning over, actually firing up. I hope. We'll see how it goes. It's so unknown. If it's got water in there, if the cylinders are scored, if the valves are stuck, it's a deal breaker for us. So this is serious. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I've tinkered on cars, I've done oil changes, I've replaced diffs. I'm not a marine or diesel technician, but we've got one here. Brett has come to our rescue. He's come to save the day. He's brought his tools, he's brought his knowledge, he's brought his big dirty hands because he's a mechanic and he's gonna sort us out. Let's get into this. I'm really excited if you can't tell. So I've bought a couple of new batteries for the boat.
Whoa. Hold your horses, Josh. If you're new here, you might be wondering, why on earth are we working on brand new motors? Well, despite being 15 years old, this boat has never touched the ocean. The closest it's come to the water is the hundreds of litres of rainwater that have filled her hull over the years, including the engine bays. And if it weren't for the unsung hero who decided to drill a tiny drain hole in those bays, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now because we wouldn't have bought the boat. We've got so many unanswered questions about these engines. Why were they installed and then abandoned? Why weren't they even bolted down? It's the strangest boat story we've ever come across. And so far, no one's been able to give us any answers. But answers aren't what matter right now. What matters is that we're just over 30 days from launch and these motors need to run. Now, this isn't going to be an instructional how-to video, mostly because we don't know how to. Brett does. And we're just doing our best to keep up. His time is valuable and ours is running out fast. So today's video might feel a little chaotic, a little all over the place, but that's exactly what this project is like. There's no time for storyboards or planned shots when we have no idea what Brett's about to uncover. So bear with us as we dive in and start getting serious about finding out exactly what we're in for.
So I bought a couple of new batteries for the boat, which is really important to have so we know we're gonna be able to start them. Got a couple of offcuts of cable that's been given to us by Darren, our trusty rigger. We've got our engine oil, we've got our coolant, but what we're gonna do today is actually just do a bit of a soft start. We're gonna pull the glow plugs out, we're gonna get it turning over, unloaded, just nurse it to life. If we don't do this right, they're not gonna be worth the bolts that they're bolted down with. So we gotta get this.
Everybody meet Brett, one of the best blokes we've met so far. He came by the boat one arvo, offered his services free of charge to bring these motors back to life. Little did he know just how much time he'd be giving us. Thank you, Brett.
Brett, meet everybody. Hello. All right, we've got our glow plug positive rail come off and we got to make sure we insulate that so that when we do get power on here, that's not going to short out and start a fire.
Throw away some things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pulling the glow plugs out so that there's no compression on the motor when we first wind it over. Because there's no oil in it, we don't want to load up the bearings.
I had to take my shoes off because we glassed the rudders yesterday and there's glass and resin all over the bottom. It's like I'm wearing ice skates. However, I'm just sorry for you guys for the enclosed space and the smell of my feet.
Your feet stink.
Mine aren't any better, don't you worry.
Whose feet is it? Own up.
No, it's not mine. Well, could be these ones. Look at these are all falling apart.
So
right. We're all friends here in the engine bay.
You gotta be.
It's pretty cosy space, isn't it?
Well, not with the one person, but with three.
Okay, well, I'm just fitting an oil pressure gauge to test the oil pressure.
Why is it important to test the oil pressure?
Well, if you don't have any oil pressure, it's going to damage things. Because it's been dry for so long, we don't want to damage anything, so we're going to take our precautions and do it the slow way and make sure that everything comes up to spec the way it should.
Slow and steady wins the race.
We're going to nurse her real good.
Yeah. How's the original tag still on the motor? Just the wire that they've put it on is all...
It's all rusty.
Yeah.
And we're just putting water in to start with to make sure there's no leaks. Once we're happy that there's no leaks, we'll put coolant in.
Here's 2 litres of 1540
Multi-grade.
multi-grade oil. The sail drive and the motor have exactly the same oil, which is very convenient.
That's helpful.
Oh, no.
No, I was just making sure. I was just making sure that the funnel.
He was just making sure you were paying attention.
I thought, well, I used the funnel, and I thought that won't fit in there anyway.
Brett talk about why we're using water, not coolant straight away?
He did.
Very good.
Very good
I was
idea.
explaining that to him earlier and he thought that was good.
I like the optimism.
Oh,
You're just full of great ideas, babe.
yeah.
Yeah, he's an ideas man. Sure.
Yeah, can
So-
hear the air.
Yeah, like because we've got the glow plugs out,
Yeah.
it's just shooting
Shooting
out.
next
So
straight out of there.
it's all good. Everything looks brilliant so far. We're going to need that wiring and that dash.
This is our brand new second-hand dash. These brand new are 1700 plus GST. We got this because it's got a couple of little scratches for $300. That's a good deal. And that's the sort of deals that we need to get this boat flying because we can't afford to pay that sort of money. So if anyone's got a second-hand dash laying around, hit us up because we're going to need it. I'll just chuck the positive onto the starter motor now and see how rusty this nut is from years of sitting. Give all this a really good clean up. I'm going to put it onto the terminal now, so everybody just close their eyes and block their ears in case there's an explosion.
Just give it a tap on there first.
Oh, it worked.
I love it. Oil level, we've got oil in it. I've got the oil pressure gauge on, so we're ready to now crank the motor now to get some oil pressure. So
Okay, no fuel connected, so that's all
no
right.
fuel's connected yet.
Alrighty, first time ever turning this motor on. Oh, we got digits. Numerals.
And just hold on. I'll put the rag over it in case it shoots out any particles. I don't want to be on the firing side. Okay, good to go.
Alrighty,
Okay.
any last words?
Drop it like it's hot.
Alrighty, dropping it.
Give it about 15 seconds, then we'll do the same thing again.
Starter motor's not too hot, that's a good sign.
Righto, give it another go.
Alright, going again.
Stinky feet alert. That's what that's.
Maybe not. Righto, give it another go.
How's it looks like we've got some sort of animal on
Yeah. Free it.
Righto, let's pull the oil filter off and have a look
Okay.
at it. Normally you could just get it on and off by hand.
Probably because they're so old. It's...
Yeah, they've been there for so long, they're part of the furniture.
That's tight.
Jesus.
That is really
Wow.
tight.
That's going to break that the strap.
Oh, no
Snap the
way.
strap.
Wow.
That's how tight that is.
Do you want me to try it by hand then?
Oh my god, this guy.
He's optimistic, I'll give you that.
The starboard side obviously wasn't that tight, hey?
No, it was tight, but not. Yeah,
Wow, not
that
break
was
a strap
to the point
tight.
where it's crushed the filter.
Wow. What would make it seize like that?
Just from sitting on there. When they put them on, there's a rubber seal, and if you don't put oil on the seal, it glues itself.
Wow.
So
Wow, that worked.
that's super tight. Yeah, some oil there.
Can you show us what the filter looks like, or does it make a bit of a mess?
Well, it's got a big ding in it, but
Yeah.
it's all right. We're only going to run it.
What the oil, what the engine
Well,
oil,
the oil,
that creaminess.
yeah, see,
the
it's a
moisture.
funny
So
colour oil. It's got moisture in it from
Yeah.
it condensing over the years. We'll run the motor on it, 3 or 4 or 5 hot heat cycles, and then we'll drain it out while it's hot. 65 65, 68
Yes.
PSI. Perfect oil pressure.
Great.
Got oil pressure.
Okay, so what we're going to do, it's going to rotate. You'll hear one cylinder struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you hear that cylinder struggle, you want to hear that 8 times. As soon as you hear the 8th one, you let go of the starter, okay?
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. 520 PSI.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, so let me do that for the other 3.
Yep.
You wouldn't want to be deaf with these machines because you can't bloody see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very comprehensive instrument cluster, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had words about that, and I'm not very happy. Volvo, if you're listening, give me back my gauges.
Okay, cylinder 3. Yep. 540.
540. Let's see if I can.
Okay, and again.
520.
525.
Are you doing it on purpose?
You're getting your money's worth out of the buzzer anyway.
I'll replace that as our new swear word. Beep.
Yeah. Intolerable. Like swearing. You don't swear, do you, Brett?
Oh, never.
Oh, no.
Righto.
All right, last one.
Righty.
Come on.
Bingo.
Oh,
Bang.
identical.
That's what we like to see.
In the starboard engine bay now, Brett and I spent the morning getting this motor running first. We wanted to not be filming in case it confused anything or just be really, really, really straightforward and present with exactly what was happening here because...
No distractions.
Yeah, it is. If stopping to film involves a lot, I want to get this right. We want to get this right because our lives depend on it, pretty much. So you see this on the other side. We've already got fuel connected. So we're going to go for a start. Can't be in there because we haven't got our exhaust connected yet. So the fumes are extremely noxious and could kill you if you weren't careful. So we're out here. All right. We're doing some heat cycles now. So this is the 3rd heat cycle on this motor. We're warming it up, letting it idle for about a minute or 2 with a few revs in between, revving it up, letting it idle for 10 seconds so the turbo can spool down, and then we're turning it off. I've learned not to turn the turbo diesel motors off straight after revving them because the oil pump needs to be circulating oil through the turbo so it can damage it. We're engaging the sail drive to see whether the gearbox is working as well as the motor is. Reverse, yeah, it works. Yes, yes, yes. We got it. The starboard motor's running. That actually sort of started revving down and...
That's because I had pulled that fuel line off and introduced some air into it.
Righto, so it's got an airlock. We've just found a fuel leak on the number 1 injector. Priming it up with this hand pump, it's squirted out. That's very loose. So we've just tightened the... Is that a band? That's the nut above the banjo fitting?
So that's similar to a banjo fitting, and that's your fuel return line. So when the injectors squirt, then they depressurize and it shoots out through this return line.
Cool.
And then that goes down to the pump and it feeds some from the pump that spills out, and then it goes down out your return line back to the tank and it cools.
So do you reckon that's all right now that it seems to not be leaking?
It'll take a couple of heat cycles to prove whether it's sealed or not.
I wonder why that was loose. Someone must have loosened that.
Well, it probably came out of the factory like that.
Alrighty, so we got our power, we got our air filter back on. Geez, you're quick, man. And we got diesel, so we're ready to go. Right, this is our first ever start of our inboard motor on the port side. Are you ready?
Ready.
We need to prime it again.
It doesn't feel like it's loading up, eh?
Yeah, like the other side got sort of hard. I'll pull the return line off into the tank and we'll see what we're getting out of it.
Righto.
I had the pickup line not in the fuel. It was just sucking air.
Okay.
Okay, now we're actually going for our first ever start on our port side motor.
It'll take a bit to pull the fuel through. I wouldn't have thought it would have taken that long though. Give that pump a couple more squirts with your foot. Righto, let's have another go. It's not happy, is it?
Smells a bit different.
It does, doesn't it? That stop doesn't feel right compared to the other side. The other side moved about 70 degrees. That thing moves a tiny bit.
Should I take that off?
Well, it's not loaded up. How far does it move now?
Bugger all.
Yeah, see the other side moves quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just see if you can lift it back towards... No, don't come back any. What about the throttle lever? Is that free?
The throttle lever.
Yeah, it's free. Give it another prime.
So we got that all on. That's all on.
See, it would have pumped a heap of air in when
we turned it
line was
over.
loose.
Yeah.
Well, all we can do is try, hey?
No, it's not happy.
Brett's thinking that when we were trying to turn it over before and we didn't have the inlet connected to the diesel, it was just drawing air, that it's gotten a bit of an airlock in there. This is a really good thing to figure out, because if we ever do have issues like this where we suck air, I'm gonna have seen someone and understand how it works. So the soot that came out of it was just black. There's a bleed on there. Should we bleed it?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Don't really want to crack it. We shouldn't have to. Give it another whirl.
Give it another whirl.
She's almost there. Did you hear it speed up a little bit?
Yeah.
I'll just stay down there and pump it. Yeah, I can definitely feel pressure in it now. Give it a hit.
Righto, we're gonna give it a hit now. Can you film down there, please, baby? Ready?
Yep.
Maybe that fuel filter's clogged.
We're not hearing that click. The other side was clicking.
Brett's just found corrosion in the fuel shut-off solenoid. So do you want me to get a bit of electrical contact cleaner?
Yep, but first we'll make sure that we can get it to work.
Right, stop.
There it goes.
Well, he's just worked that contact, the corrosion away, because now I'm holding the stop button, which should be closing that relay. So every time he
Now let go
pulls,
of it. Now hit it. Yep, we can hear it now.
we can hear it now.
Alright, you want to give me a crank?
All right, giving you a crank.
Still got nothing. Let's go and have a look at the other motor.
Righto.
See how far that moves. I'm
Okay.
sure it moves double.
Yeah, it does. So it moves to there, and I can feel resistance, and then it pushes against what feels like another spring or something like that.
And that's what we're not getting on the other side. It's
No.
still in the shutdown position. So we have to try and free that up, but it should swing around to here.
But it doesn't come back the other way either.
Well, that's about... See, if that was turned around a bit more, they were sort of parallel, and that sat like that. They were sort of parallel to each other, and the other one was coming right round here. You can feel it.
So Brett's just going to feel on the side that has been running. He's just going to compare and feel whether this secondary lever is seized.
There's a plunger that slides in the side, and it shuts off the fuel.
Right.
It appears to be shut off in the on position, so you wouldn't be able to turn it off.
So that could not be our issue.
Well, that's not our issue, but it is an issue. We've got a centrifugal system in here. Everything's nice and free. You see, that's exactly what's happening on the other side.
Yeah, and is that moving?
No, it's not moving at that point.
Yeah.
I take my fingers away, and then
Yeah.
more than likely make it not start. Not stop.
Rather than not run.
Rather than not run.
Unfortunately, we've got an issue on the port side motor. We can't get it running, and that mechanical stop toggle is jammed. So we need to find a parts diagram of the governor advance mechanism, and we can't find it because it's not in these parts diagrams that I have. So Brett's gone home. He's gonna have a little bit of a look at the parts diagrams on his laptop. He needs to see internally what's going on. The governor has these counterweights pretty much that spin out as the cam's spinning. They're all seized, and that same pin is seized. So there's been moisture in there and it's become sort of stuck basically. So he's soaked it with lanolin spray. We're gonna leave it overnight, and he's gonna have a little bit of a look at it, at the parts diagrams overnight, and then we'll have another go tomorrow. Hopefully they free themselves up naturally and we'll be ready to go. He would think that that isn't the issue that has caused it not to run, but it's still an issue that we need to fix nonetheless. That's it for today. A bit more tomorrow. The sun is out, Brett is here. Oh, it's such a cracking day. We're gonna do 2 more heat cycles, and then we're gonna drop the coolant out of it, or the water, drop the oil out of it, and get it filled up with some good fluids.
Because the motor's new and it hasn't been run in yet, the pistons and the rings haven't bedded into the bores properly, so it will have more blow by than once it's done a few hours and run in.
So that we can see that by the air that's coming out of the oil fill cap.
That will reduce as it runs in.
Right.
It's a good idea not to leave it idling in the running period for a constant amount of time. Every few minutes you give it a couple of revs, change the RPM a bit, just so it doesn't blaze up the bores.
So should we do that now then?
Yeah, now
Should I close the fuel cap?
No,
Oil cap?
leave that open, because any moisture that's in there, as it's heating up, that'll come out the top.
Right, because we can see there is a fair amount of moisture in there from that creamy oil.
Yeah, it's not bad, but if we can get all that moisture out, it's better for us.
Righto.
So yeah,
I'll rev it up.
give it a couple of whips.
We're going to send Phoebe on a little bit of a journey to go and get some penetrating oil to put in this governor that's seized. The centrifugal weight and the mechanical stop pin is kind of seized inside the diesel pump or the fuel pump. So yeah, it's not running. Brett's come up with the idea of just using a bit of diesel. He's spraying in there in a little reclaimed cleaning bottle that we found. Because once it goes warm and once it actually gets a few cycles in it, it will spin itself sort of loose, but at the moment it's just really dry. Whether it's rust, we don't know because we can't pull it apart. But
well, we can pull it apart, but we don't really want to open it up.
I can't pull it apart. Brett can pull it apart, but I'm not going to ask him to unless it doesn't work. So you've got a lot more movement in that.
Yeah, that's the same amount of movement as the other side has, except it's sticking. So we've got to get it to the point where it's free and it'll return on its own.
So before that had about 10 degrees of movement.
Before it was only moving about there.
Yeah.
Now we're getting full travel.
Oh, yeah, Brett! Go, mate!
We're getting there.
One job down and another two found. The boot on the sail drive, I've been worrying about this a little bit because the best insurance you're going to have is not having dodgy bits on the boat, and this boot is quite perished. It's got some sort of scoring and cracks in it. Checked with Brett and he reckons it's actually into the rubber itself, so probably going to have to do that before we go back in the water because that blowing would fill this whole engine compartment up with water and sink the motor, so that's not good. Is this a method you've learnt from 30 years in the trade, mate? That little one there?
Well,
what's that called?
That's the jiggle.
With electrician screwdriver, go figure. Whatever floats your boat or runs your motors, mate, I'm up for it all. Diesel has been the winning ticket on this one. It's spinning all by itself now, so we're getting close to a start. We're going for the final run on the old engine oil and the water that we've got in the motor before we drop everything and do a complete service on it.
Hi. Did you have a look at the manual for the port side?
It's all done.
Oh, really?
You got it free.
We
haven't tried to start it yet.
Yeah, we're just letting it soak a little bit.
Okay.
But it's all moving properly.
But as soon as you put that diesel in, it started moving so much freer, didn't it?
Definitely.
What are you sucking up right now?
All the gases in there, just so it didn't get too stinky in there.
Vacuum's like, thanks.
Yeah.
No worries.
Fresh engine oil going back in.
Pour out.
Shit. Dumb idea.
Do you reckon the old decant into a bucket would have been smarter?
So much better. You're a weapon for getting all this sorted, mate. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
We're going to go for our first start on the motor after a coolant and oil freshen up. New oil filter. It's ready, set. We've got one motor running.
Yay!
There's one more than we had.
You can just go around in big circles at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great news. Thanks for your expertise, Brett. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's one more than we had and one less than we need, but it's still one.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
One is a win.
The wonderful thing about having two of these motors is that we can compare the good side to the bad side. So Brett's found that one linkage or one of the levers is still stuck. And I said, oh, do we want to go for a start on it and try anyway? And he says, no, because it could free spin. Is that a runaway motor?
Yeah.
I've seen a video of that and it's terrifying. I don't want anything to do with having a runaway motor on this boat.
very entertaining if it's somebody else's. When it's your own, it's not ideal.
So Brett's had a fantastic idea.
We still think one of the mechanisms is a little bit sticky. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack all the diesel lines. We're going to crank it over to see if we've got fuel delivery now, which we didn't have before. Then we're going to operate the stop and make sure that we lose fuel delivery. Then we know that we can shut the motor down if something happens.
So that's going to help us avoid a runaway motor. Worst case scenario. And it's also going to tell us that the work you've done so far has actually worked in allowing fuel delivery.
That's right. Yes.
All right, fantastic. Let's go for it. So I'm turning on now.
Okay, no fuel delivery still.
No fuel delivery still.
Go one more time. No. Nothing.
We're taking the front off.
We've done all we could to avoid it, but it has to happen.
Yeah, okay.
So what happens from here? The governor is seized in the fuel pump, so we have to remove the front of the motor to get the fuel pump off, which we have all the tools for, but the rattle gun that we have on hand doesn't have enough grunt to crack the front pulley nut, which is the first step on getting the front of the motor off. Brett's been helping us with the motors on his days off and afternoons, which is a really precious slice of personal downtime when you're working flat out. He's going to do some homework on disassembly and get his powerful rattle gun, then come back on the weekend to hopefully get that port motor running. This is what we'll be doing in next week's episode. But for now, we've still got some engine bay admin to sort out. Good morning.
G'day. We are mounting a few things in the engine bay this morning. We're mounting the coolant expansion tank and the seawater strainer, but we have no idea how to mount things. Anytime I'm not sure how to do anything at the moment, I'm just going and asking a mate. So I knocked on Danny's door well after dark on my way back to the boat, and I said, how am I going to be mounting things on the boat? I don't want to be screwing into the hull, and I don't want to be putting wood on there because for Inner Bloom for the last 5 years, we've been fighting this cycle of rust. And I don't want one bit of wood on this boat that I can have to worry about rot and trying to fix that in the future. He's gifted us this section of synthetic board. It's like a plastic board. It's got smooth face on either side and peeled tape that you peel off.
Feels like plaster.
Yeah, it feels like plaster, but it's plastic. But the thing is that it's going to hold a thread really well. We're going to glue this onto the hull. We're going to fix into this. And the reason that we need to fix this into the hull is because
it's going to take 24 hours for it to set. So that we can keep things moving, we'll get into this job tomorrow. This can be setting for the 24 hours. We can hopefully get started this time tomorrow.
This is the amount of offcut that we have left over, but fortunately on my bin run this morning, I did get another bit out of the bin. So
it's a Sunday morning ritual.
Yeah, I call it church.
Yeah, I wake up as the sun rising, Josh is in here, I'm like, where are you? He's like, just in the bins.
Yeah.
Call you back in a second.
I have a strong belief system in reduce, reuse, recycle. I wouldn't call myself a religious man, but I've started practicing this belief system I have of going through the bins and recovering all this spent waste that still has so much life left in it.
And after finding all the treasures in the bin, it does make you believe in God. There's some beauties in there. What people throw away at boatyards is crazy, especially this boatyard.
Unbelievable. And considering we're getting a lot of secondhand pieces just to get the boat going to float it, we can't afford to be spending money on new things. So yeah, it's my Sunday morning ritual and it's church. So all right. Anyway, let's go glue these so we can get into the rudder build, eh? We're going to be using trusty old faithful structural Fix 8 to adhese these two. It's got a pretty slow curing time compared to some of the high-tack adhesives that they make. So that's why we need to leave it for 24 hours till we can even mount anything heavy on it. We've got our sea strainer here. Our intake comes from the sail drive leg, so we're going to keep it somewhere really close in proximity. It then has to go forward around the front of the motor. We'll probably lead that hose back down and come around. It's kind of good to think about the whole approach to the job when you're doing it, because otherwise you mount it and you realize that you have to go here, there, everywhere. This engine bay is so accessible and so gorgeous. We want to try and keep it that way. I'm thinking that this is a good spot because it exists already. You know, there's a bit of things sticking out with these filters here, the Raycall filters.
And when you step down into the engine bay, you're usually at forward of this hole, and so you step down onto this part of the engine, so you're not actually going to be knocking that when you jump down.
We also wanted it at a height where you're coming down and you can just throw an eye into it and see whether it's full and the strainer needs emptying. So I think that location's pretty grouse right there. Might just chuck a little mark on it.
Oh, that's not level.
That's not level, so we pretty much just have to butt up against that and do what they've done. All right, so we're going to hit this with Metho, we're going to hit that with Metho, and then we're going to give it a good stick.
Do you know how the Fix Tech goes with heat? Because this will get pretty hot in here.
Yeah, it's got a working range. The
The fixed deck has a working range, and that's a really good question, so we'll actually learn that ourselves.
Okay.
So our coolant expansion chamber has arrived in the post. This was $30. It's aluminium, it's painted, it's amazing. And you couldn't get a plastic one for cheaper than that. So I'm pretty impressed with it. It's got a level finder or a level view on the side of it. We're gonna be mounting it here, I think, because our outlet is gonna be straight from the coolant cap, the filler cap here. This is a pressurized coolant system, so it means that our reservoir could actually be at any height because it draws a vacuum to pull it back in, whereas a non-pressurized system has to be really like level so it can run straight back in once it cools down or expands or does whatever. I don't know, I mean, we could put it over there as well. It just means longer line run. If you have that sitting out there.
Yeah, and if you need to do any work down at the front of it.
It's going to make it a bit more difficult.
Yeah. Whereas if you're doing work around this side of the motor, you're not going to be sitting here. You're sitting here or here.
I just don't know about the coolant lines, like if we can bring it down and come back up. I mean, it's pressurized, so that should be completely fine. But I mean, it would be better to have it there.
Above. It would look a lot cleaner.
Yeah, it would.
Having the C strainer beneath it there as well.
Yeah, but then you're just going to have your lines running all higgledy-piggledy all the way around.
Yeah, I guess what you got to think about is, do you want lines being higgledy-piggledy, or do you want having all the units in the same place so that you know that that's the careful zone? You don't knock or bump that area.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is that if this motor's running, you're not going to want to cross in front of it anyway, because you've got this fully unguarded
you got the belt
serpentine belt at the front. So it's much of a muchness. I mean, ideally even having it mounted on the motor somewhere, but there's not a whole lot of spots for it, and let's do it over there then.
This is why we're trying to close the gap on the backlog of our videos, because it's moments like this where we would pose this to you and then be like, what do you guys think? And then get your responses and then apply that. But we're kind of running blind at the moment, and we're not getting feedback until a week after the fact. That's okay.
We are learning from your fantastic comments though.
We are, yeah. The C strain will have to be on the bottom.
However, if you put that there, you can't put the other thing right
you can't have them on top of each other, because then you're not going to be able to see the C strainer and also the reservoir. Okay, well.
This is why planning is really good.
This is why what?
This is why planning is really good.
Yeah. Got the C strainer manual here. It says 15 centimeters above the waterline.
We've learned a little bit since Googling about coolant expansion tanks. We were right in knowing that it can be mounted at any height. Higher the better with these sorts of systems within the height of the system itself. So we're kind of thinking that maybe over in this section here is going to be pretty practical, because it's already within the height off the wall of these lines that exist around here. And we're actually going to have a through hole here for our bilge discharge and the gutter from our engine hatch. Oh, what was that really amazing thing that someone told us? Oh, who was it? It was actually Alan Payne, I believe. Writes an incredible book. It's like the Bible maintenance manual, pretty much. It's amazing for boats. Anyway, he's been in the marine industry for 40 years almost, I think. And his first boat, he was actually on the hard stand next to Joe Adams rebuilding. Lots of hoons around here. This is why I had to buy a boat, because I would have been one of those. I was one of those cats.
And if you're new here, the boat that we live on right now is an Adams 35. That's why this story is special.
Thanks for clarifying that, baby. It was on the hard stand next to Joe Adams, and Joe Adams was saying, well, you know, you could spend an extra 3 years getting perfect boat building standard, or you can go simple, go now. Might not be perfect, but you can get all that extra time in cruising. So we're erring towards the edge of that. We're still doing things nicely, but we're trying to get back out there. So the working range for this product, to answer your question, Phoebe, is minus 40 degrees to plus 100 degrees.
Okay, might be cutting it close.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful.
No, this is way too much
you
product.
You are so talented.
That is way too much product.
That's gonna go everywhere.
Yeah, I buggered it up. Something I learned, don't do this. Which I always used to do, because that's putting bacteria into the material, and that's why you get mold in it quite often. Skin time's half an hour on this, so as long as we don't knock it, it should stay exactly where it was set. There we go.
Nice one. Goes there. No.
I'm very excited to introduce to you Alan, another absolutely legendary character in our Boatyard story. He pops in every now and then, gifting us with various yet vital bits and bobs for the job, or, like today, offers us his water-based wizardry and a lifetime of boat building experience. He's dropped in this afternoon to help us settle once and for all just how much moisture this vessel is holding within.
I was concerned that there was water that's drained down into this area. Yeah, I was just...
Okay.
No, it's the same. Alan, there's a crossbeam aft crossbeam here. They drilled these handrails in and the crossbeam was full of water. We vacuumed 60 litres out and then after a while we went through and drilled these holes all the way down to here and it's still having water drip out of it now. So is that's on the lower end of the scale saying it's dry or it's completely wet?
It's dry.
So this is a big concern of ours because of how much water came out of there at some point. It's fine through there, so it's just that lowest point there. Moisture meter test! Woo! Seaworthy Inspections, thank you very much.
Thank Michael.
Thanks, Michael. Who's Michael?
He's the guy who owns it down in Melbourne.
Oh, Michael.
He's got 30 inspectors around Australia.
Wowee. Mate, you've earned yourself a sunset cruise. As soon as we get a mast on the boat. Thanks, Michael. Getting a moisture meter test and having this kind of foundational base knowledge of our vessel was so good for us before we get back in the water, because then we can track it down the future if there is water ingress and things change. We know that it's not from how it was when we got it, it's from how it has been with us owning it. So it's, I don't know, I'm just rapt about this. Moisture is on the keels because this is our freshwater storage. Dry as a bone, apparently. Well, that's a good sign regardless. So that's all reading about 10 on the scale of moisture. It's a moistness of 10.
Our journey with this cat started off a little rocky. The intimidation, the threats. We were fearful that we'd be exerting our precious energy looking over our shoulders all the time. But Boatworks has proven to be the most welcoming watering hole. The people we meet, the knowledge shared, it's worth every dollar we've spent being here, and we are so grateful.
All right, we've got our coolant expansion tank. Now that this is all set, we're also going to mount our sea strainer. Usually what I would just use is like what they've used here, a nice thick gauge wood screw. However, I don't have any of them on hand and I'm trying to just get jobs done with everything that I already have. However, I do have a 5mm drill bit, a 6mm tap and some 6mm correct depth bolts. So I'm just going to bolt it on. I've got some nice stainless bolts here and I've got a good insulating rubber gasket on there because this is aluminium, this is stainless. So anywhere we can avoid our electrolysis, we definitely will. I've put Tef gel on these dissimilar metals here to insulate in the same way. So yeah, let's do this. I figured this out before. This has still got the little sticky cover on it that we can't manage to get off, but an eraser just cleans it up so beautifully. It's wild. I've just checked the depth and marked our depth on the drill bit so we don't go any deeper than what's there. That way we can not go into the hull. May not be the quickest and the easiest way to do something, but I think it's definitely going to look the best. And it's also future-proofing because if you do have to pull these on and off for whatever reason, the thread that's been cut in by the wood screw is probably not going to last as long. Whereas this is going to be the same thread every time. So unless we get significant vibration in here and it rattles loose, that's going to be the only issue that I could see. It's the sort of thing that someone comes down to the engine bay, looks around and then sees work like this where all these saddles have just been screwed directly into the hull. Whereas if you look along here, all the fuel lines have actually had a section glued in like this. A mounting block, exactly. So this might have been at the point where people were rushing a little bit more and weren't taking as much care or consideration. But I mean, who knows, maybe they don't actually need to be, you know, caught out or had a mounting block put on, but...
And as it goes, and as it will continue to, we had another visitor drop in and we didn't get to finish filming the rest of this job. But you know what? Who cares? This community and its generosity means more to us than a perfect polished YouTube video. It's our reality. We're doing this job by unusual means, working against a time frame that's giving us grey hairs. But fear not, my dear viewer. Brett will be back in a couple of days and we're going to be holding him hostage until he gets the portside motor running. Just kidding. See you next week.